everybody, my name is William. Welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Today we're going to be doing another FSEconomy flight back in the Diamond DA62, flying from Oamaru, New Zealand to Timaru. Short flight today, kind of going to be a little bit interesting with the weather, but it should be fun. Let's go ahead and take a look at the plan and FSEconomy real quick, and then we'll get into the flight. Taking a look at the FSEconomy side of things real quick, you can see we are ready to depart from Oamaru here. We have 3 people on board, and we're going just 41 miles. Like I said, I just wanted to do a nice short flight in the Diamond today. We can also see how much fuel we have left from our last flight. We have 37 gallons on board. We're just going 41 miles. We do have fuel available at the airfield here, and we could check out Timaru and see. So the FBO there actually has no fuel available, but there is a system-owned FBO there that has unlimited fuel available. Basically, it's kind of just a way to make sure that there's not a ton of planes stranded all over the place. So we're not going to worry about fueling the plane up at all. We know that we can get it at our destination. So as far as that is concerned, we are set on FSEconomy. We'll just take a look at the on SkyVector here. Nothing really to plan for necessarily. We can just see we're going basically heading 344 for 41 miles all the way along the coast. Nothing too important to really notice, except for the fact that there is a segment up, and it says for turbulence, so we can take a look at this. And once again, even though I've waited several days since flying the Diamond last, we still have severe turbulence in the area, surface to flight level 140, and there's no way we're getting over that today. So maybe a bit of a bumpy ride, but that's all we got really for the plan. So we'll go ahead and hop into the plane now, get on with the flight. Welcome on board the Diamond DA62, everyone. You can hear the wind howling outside, so we know it must be pretty darn windy out there. We're on the ramp here at Oamaru. Probably butchering that, but hopefully it's in the ballpark anyways. We're getting a pushback here from the lovely ground crew, and then we're going to go ahead and get the flight started. So that is far enough, ground crew. Thank you very much. You can see our FSEconomy client is open. Aircraft is on the ground and available, so we'll go to Flight, Actions, and Start Flight. Let's make sure our 3 passengers are loaded up, and they are. So we'll go ahead and hide the client now. We can go through and get the aircraft ready for startup. So first things first, just make sure I did reactivate the parking brake there. I'll go ahead and open up the fuel tanks here, and they are open. So now then, battery on, go strobe on, and I think now we are ready to basically start the engines, get the alternators on. We'll go left engine first, so left master on, wait for the left glow on message to go away. And there it is, our left prop looks clear, so clear prop. Alright, left engine started up, nice and easy. We can see good oil pressure, oil temperature is climbing, coolant temperature is climbing, and just also double checking our fuel load there, and it looks correct. So we'll do the same now for the right. Right glow on, wait for that to turn off. And it is off, right engine looks clear, so clear prop. Alright, right engine is started up, nice and smooth. We have good oil pressure, oil temperatures coming up, and that is 2 good engine starts. So you can see on the ramp here, it only shows 1 runway, because we have 1 paved runway, which is 1836. We do have other runways available, but they are grass. And if you watched our my flight into this airport, you'll know that that tower right there is in the middle of runway 1836, and you can actually see this windsock. It looks like it's basically asking us to take off runway 36, but I'm not going to unless it's just absolutely a must due to the wind. because like I said, that tower's right in the middle of the runway. So we'll go ahead and zoom this map out. We are right on the edge, basically, of some of the of one of the grass runways, and the other one's just basically across from it. So get our avionics master on at this point. Go ahead and turn our pitot heat on. That way, that message will disappear. Set the CDI up to GPS. Go ahead and set the transponder onto a VFR code there. PFD, bearing 1 to GPS, bearing 2, we're going to set to nav 1. We'll load up the Tamaru VOR frequency there, 115.9er, Tango uniform. It is identified, so that is set up. We'll set an altitude into our altitude bug of 4,500. We'll keep it nice and low today. And we'll go ahead and set the local pressure into our altimeters. 299.6 set. Okay, we're ready to taxi. So we'll go ahead and give the taxi light a nice flash there. Release the parking brake. And we should probably figure out the wind before we decide where we're going to go. Yeah. Okay, so that's asking for runway 36 for sure. 14 knots. That's going to be a really big crosswind for runway 29er, which is our next longest option, is 1129. But we do have 0220. So I guess that's what we're going to plan. We're going to plan on using runway 02 for the departure. We'll just take the crosswind. Yeah, I guess that's going to be our option, because that tower's right in the middle of that freaking runway. So we'll start our taxi. I'll set the heading bug to 020. And the runway should basically just be right up here. Yeah, it's kind of that dirt, it looks like that dirt clearing that runs off. So we'll just taxi up to it over here. Turn into the wind for the correction with our controls here. Yeah, so that is runway 02 that we're basically taxiing up on right now. Just kind of line up with it. It's nice and short, but yeah, I don't want to run into that tower, and at least this is a decent amount of a headwind. So we'll go ahead and go takeoff flaps out now, landing light on, taxi light off. We'll come back in and put transponder on altitude mode there. So we're set up, flight director on. I will engage a heading mode, and we could set a vertical speed mode up for 1,000 feet a minute today, should be fine. We're looking to rotate out today at around 76 knots is what we're looking for. So with that, we are ready for takeoff. So let's slowly build the power. Alright, power is set. We'll release brakes. This thing will slowly start to trundle along. As a decently strong wind is fighting it. 76. We are up. We have a positive rate. Gears up. Oh, gears in transition. Gear is up. That was a rough one on takeoff. There's a lot of fighting with the rudder. We'll just climb out kind of on runway heading for a moment. We're at about 100 knots and got a solid positive rate, so we'll go ahead and get our flaps in. A little bit more back pressure. This thing flies like a dream. It's so nice. Look at that beautiful scenery out our left wing. And we're going to try and basically establish ourselves here along the coastline. Just have the GPS really up so I don't get lost, but I don't think we're going to need it too much. We'll put our actual heading the aircraft's flying on 020. It shows, yeah, we have about 10-degree offset from the heading our aircraft's pointed to the heading our aircraft is actually flying. It's wild. Hopefully, we can have a somewhat smooth flight today. Just taking a look up towards the north. Looks nice and clear. I don't think visibility or clouds or anything are going to be an issue for the flight. It's flying up the coast, 2,300 feet for 4,500. If it starts to get rougher as we continue up, we may just settle for a slightly lower altitude. Not really too set on one altitude for any one reason, just no need to climb up way high today. We are definitely getting bounced around quite a lot. See how strong this wind already is? 35 knots, almost directly on the nose. Well, it's about 45 degrees off of the nose. If we were actually flying on course, it'd be almost right on the nose. It's going to make today a little bit of a shorter flight. Or, I'm sorry, a longer flight. How do you get those two backwards? Headwind, it's going to make it a shorter flight. Come on now. We can't have good luck on our on all our flights here in the Diamond with the tailwind we got last time, where we were getting 200 knots ground. I mean, then we did have to turn into it, and it kind of worked itself out to about even. But that was yeah, that was a little lucky. I don't think we're gonna get that. I don't think we're gonna get that very often. It just doesn't. It never seems to work that way. Okay, so just kind of flew it manually up here to 4,500. A really steep climb. We basically have wind coming from 300 or 290 at 51 knots. At 4,500 feet, we have a 52 knot wind. Absolutely insane. So that means that we're doing 155 knots true, and over the ground we're actually doing 140. Rough times. We're just right over the coastline. You see the aircraft is pointed inland a decent amount. We're flying heading 325, and the aircraft is actually flying heading 345, basically. That is quite a crab into the wind we have. But that's just fine. You see a really great visibility today, either way. Pretty sure if we had some Hawkeyes, we could actually almost see up towards the airport. We have the beautiful mountains off our left wing. The lovely green scenery out in front of us. Doing 164.5 knots true and 145 knots ground. Sad times. Just for a moment, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna sync the heading mode to our current heading. So we're on heading mode, altitude mode's on as well. Let's see, we'll go ahead and engage the autopilot for a moment. Just want to take a look down here. So 47 knots, 290. If we go into PFD, wind, and option 1, you can see that's a 25 knot crosswind component and a 39 knot headwind component. Both bad. Both not fun at all. The nice thing is at Tamaru, I would imagine we're gonna have wind coming out of the north as well. We're not going far enough for the weather to really have changed that much. But we do have runway 02 available to us, so that's at least basically the exact same heading we took off, or the exact same we took off from. We took off from runway 02 out of Amaru. So it should be lined up at least decently with what the wind's probably doing around there. The mountains do look great though. Nice coastline. Real windy. I bet the waves down there would probably be insane if it's actually this windy, but then again, it is kind of, well, I mean, it's not necessarily surfing waves, but just the ocean's probably not too happy. I guess New Zealand would probably be known for some pretty crazy surfing spots, though. That's something I definitely miss back from living in California. Being able to go surfing. There's a bunch of other things I don't miss, though. Looks like we're about to get out from underneath this overcast layer. It's kind of keeping it a little dark and gloomy. We just got 10 minutes. We're almost halfway through our trip now. Alright, so we just had a big wind update. It's no longer, it was very abrupt, but it's no longer basically a crosswind at all. It's just 21 knots directly on the nose. And with that said, before we kind of deactivate the autopilot and fly it the rest of the way here, you can see that we're basically halfway. Our GPS needle and nav, our bearing needle for nav 1 are pointed the exact same direction as they pretty much should be. So if we just turned and flew that heading, that'll take us directly to the field. But we're going to kind of take over manually here and fly the coast up, like I said. So we'll go ahead and deactivate the autopilot now. Before we start flying, as the aircraft's nice and trimmed out, because the autopilot was doing its job, we're going to set the heading mode back to 020. That way I've got a good reference for the runway at Tamaru. Tamaru? I don't know. It doesn't seem like it should be Timaru, you know? But that's what my brain wants to say. Who knows? Anyways. Once again, beautiful mountains. It's nice and sunny over there, too. Sun's poking out of the clouds. Some beautiful rivers basically going in. Looks like a lot of farmland out here as well. It's nice and peaceful. Very enjoyable. And just about 6 minutes from our destination, which is 14.5 miles off. I think that this is the actual town that we're going to be flying over, which is right here in front of us. And then the airport just past it a little bit further. We could probably pick it out there if, like I said, if I had some eagle eyes, but I don't. I don't anymore. I want to say it's got to be like over in here somewhere, but yeah, I don't know. So we're gonna stay up here for the moment. We'll fly over the town, basically 4,500 feet. Just flying directly north, right along the coastline. And then when we're ready, we'll start on down. And I think we're gonna go... The wind really isn't helping one way or the other. It's basically coming from tree 10 now. Which is like the worst. It's honestly the worst direction it could be coming from. So that's going to be a lot of crosswind, but hopefully we can keep it on the runway. When we get a little bit closer here, we'll get our fuel pumps on, but we'll go ahead and turn our landing light on at this point. See the town down there. It's like a pretty decent sized one. Not bad. It looks really looks like it was a really good idea to not fly into the mountains today. There was another flight that we could have picked up that would have taken us back into the mountains, kind of around where we've previously been. A new airport, but still around there. And I seriously contemplated it, but with all that cloud cover and the turbulence, like I didn't really know what the weather was like there, but with the turbulence that, you know, it says is around, and all the cloud cover we're seeing now, the wind, I think it was a good call not to go. We're not doing a great job of holding our altitude. I'm looking around a lot though. That's a pretty big town down there, right on the coast. I know some people would probably be like, that's not a very big town at all, but you live in Oklahoma, ever, you've come to appreciate towns that just have buildings that are, you know, more than like 6 stories tall. That's a big town. Looks very nice. Nice from 4,500 feet. We're pitching down and losing our altitude like a madman. We'll go ahead and pull some of the power now. We're very close to the field. I should be able to spot it if we look. There it is. So there's our airfield right there. We'll go ahead and, let's see. We'll go ahead and we will start down. We'll come to the left and basically put 020 right on our 90-degree marker here for the HSI. So the reason I got the bug here, 020, I can put that on the 90-degree marker and fly this heading and start our descent. Also go ahead and get fuel pump on for the right and for the left. So we can get our takeoff flaps out at this airspeed. We can get them out up to anything below 136 knots. We can go landing flaps once we're in the white arc here on the speed, which we almost are. So we are pretty high at the moment, but I think we'll be okay. We can go ahead and get our landing gear out as well if we want to, which we will go ahead and do. That'll give us some extra drag, and we can make sure, verify it is down and good. So landing gear is down and 3 green. Oh, a little too crazy on the camera. We have the airfield in sight over there. And we are in a base for, we'll be making our final turn into runway 02 here. Our final approach speed I'm going to shoot for today is going to be, I think I'm going to try and hold around 90. Just right around 90 should be okay. We'll go and go our first notch of flaps. They are out. Airport's kind of hidden right behind the canopy there. Let me just lean over here. Don't mind me. I'm not trying to crowd your space or anything, but just kind of want to see what's going on. I'll go back over to my side now. Alright, so we're about ready to start our final turn. I can see the wind about tree 0 at 10. So it is kind of coming around to our direction, but it's still not great. Nice shallow turn to final. Once we're on final, we'll go ahead and get our landing flaps out. There is a grass runway available to us. We could have used runway 29. But the wind's dying down now. It's about 6 knots. Yeah, we're gonna manage this. He says before he goes off the runway in a 6-knot crosswind. Our landing flaps are out now, so aiming for 90 knots. We got to get a little bit more positive trim in. We're really having to pull back on the stick just to kind of maintain this attitude. This plane is finicky to trim out. I guess it's just really touchy, that's all. It's not really that finicky, it's just really touchy. So we're holding right around 90 knots. We're on final, a short final for runway 02. Wind died down a lot, that's gonna help. Went a little bit shallow there right at the end. Try and keep it on the center line, let the nose down gently. There we go. Nice landing here at the field. We're gonna have to circle it all the way back around and back taxi off to the ramp. We could go ahead and get our fuel pumps off. We'll get our taxi light on. Alright, so let's just slowly slow the aircraft down. He slowly slowed the aircraft. Alright, and we will do our left-hand turn, clean the aircraft up with the flaps there. And we can go ahead and get our, let's see, go back. Go ahead and get our transponder on standby. Get some more power in it. Even on a nice paved surface, this thing takes a ton of power to move around on the ground. And we just got a taxi back up here. And we'll make a left. You can also see on the map here. We gotta taxi all the way back down, go back, hang a left-hand turn, and taxi off to the ramp. We can park, get our lovely passengers off today. Fortunately, it was a pretty smooth ride for everyone involved. No turbulence, no really bad turbulence. Did take a little bit longer today due to that wind, but can't control that. I hope you all enjoyed the flight today. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. If you want to see more of this stuff, definitely subscribe. Helps me out a ton. I appreciate all the support, as always. Y'all are awesome. Alright, so we'll taxi and clear off to the left here. We'll go ahead and get our landing light off. Keep our taxi light on. Let's see, we'll get them parked up here around this kind of main looking building. And get them offloaded so they can go on their way. So a nice short flight today. Basically exactly what I wanted. Good scenery, fun airplane to fly. Honestly, that was probably one of the best landings I feel like I've had. Still some room for improvement for sure, but all of that felt really nice, so very happy we got that one in the books. So we'll go ahead and set our parking brake. So that logs the flight in FSEconomy. So now I can bring the client back up just to show the aircraft is now available on the ground at Timaru or Timaru. Once again, I really don't know. So we'll hide that and we'll go through and we'll just shut our aircraft down. So first things first, we'll turn our taxi light off, avionics master off. We already got the pitot heat off, so we'll go right master off. Right engine shut down, and then we'll go left master off. And Microsoft is going to say, awesome, you completed your flight. This is how long it took you, you slowpoke. Thank you very much, Microsoft. So left engine's off, we'll go alternators off. Now we turn our strobe light off and battery off at that point. And then just go through and close up the fuel tanks to complete the flight. Thank you all so much for joining me. I do hope you enjoyed the flight. Like I said, if you did, make sure to like the video, subscribe if you want to see more as always. Hopefully I'll see you in the next video, and until then, bye-bye.